I grow my hair to butt length by following a healthy hair growth routine. If you want to grow your hair to waist length, hip length, butt length, or whatever your goal is, you need a hair growth routine. And I'm going to be showing you in today's video how to create a routine that will grow your hair to the length you want. The first step that you need to take if you want to create a routine that will grow your hair longer and to your desired length is to research. This is very, very important, especially if you are a beginner. You need to get a grasp of the basics. You need to know what shampooing means. You need to know the difference between moisturizing and clarifying shampoo. You need to know what deep conditioning means. You need to know that there is protein deep conditioning, there is moisturizing deep conditioning, and the purpose each of them serve. You need to know the necessity of moisturizing your hair, why you need to get a leave-in moisturizer, why you need to get a hair oil, and how to properly moisturize your hair. So basically you need to get the basics. So you need to research so that you can get the basic knowledge of the things you need in order to get your routine started. So you can do this by researching on Google, going on YouTube or other social media platforms. There are tons of videos and information out there about hair care, about hair products, about the basic things you need in order to get started. There's also a lot of information out there that is going to tell you what the basic terms mean. So for example, what a regimen means, what relaxer stretches means, if you are a relaxed hair girly. So like I said, this is very, very important, especially if you are a beginner. But if you aren't a beginner and you know all these already, you can skip this step and move on to the second step, which is get the basic products. In order to get your routine that will grow your hair to your desired length within the shortest time possible, you need to get the basic products that your hair needs. So this includes a shampoo, a protein deep conditioner, a moisturizing deep conditioner, a leave-in moisturizer, and a hair oil. So every other thing that you are getting apart from these 5 products are just extra. So these are the basic necessities. Like this is a must when you are getting started on your hair growth journey or when you want to create a routine to get your hair longer and healthier. So you need these 5 products on your shelf, and this is what you are going to start from. You can even take it a step further by getting a clarifying and moisturizing shampoo. But if you are a beginner and you want to start with something simple, you can start with just a regular shampoo and the other 4 products I mentioned. So any other thing you are doing apart from this, like I said, is just extra. So whether you are dropping on trends, using rosemary water, or using any other recipe you find online, just know that these are just extra, and these 5 products are what you actually need to get started in your hair growth journey. The next thing you want to do after getting your basic products is to start with something simple. Create a very, very simple routine, not a perfect one. You have to realize that when you are just starting, you don't have information, you don't know what your hair likes yet. You have not put your hair through different products, through different routines, through different regimens, so you can't really tell what your hair likes or what it hates. So you want to start with something simple so that you can get this information. Now, it doesn't have to be perfect, like I said. There is no standard universal hair growth routine or no perfect universal hair growth routine. A routine is perfect relative to your hair. So don't think you can just copy someone else's routine and paste that 100% on your hair and expect the same results, especially if your hair type is different, if your hair porosities are different, or even if your hair densities are different. So you can't just copy another person's routine, especially if that person's hair is different from yours. Implement that on your hair and expect to get the same results. So that is why you need to start with something simple, not something perfect, not something that you 100% copied from another person. You can use another person's routine as your inspiration. For example, you can pick 1 or 2 things from this hair care influencer, pick another thing from this hair care influencer, and combine it to form your routine depending on what your hair needs. For example, if your hair is not in a perfect state, for example, if it is dry, you may have to be focusing more on moisturizing your hair compared to another person who may probably be suffering from protein overload and trying to avoid moisture products. So that is why you cannot 100% copy another person's routine on your hair, except you guys have similar hair types, get similar hair densities and similar hair porosities. So just try and start with something simple. Make sure you have a regular wash day routine. Create something you know you can be consistent with and stick to. So if that is washing your hair once a month, put that down and stick with that. If you know that you can only deep condition your hair once a month, put that down and stick with that. If you know that what you can do is once in 2 months, put that down, but make sure you stick with it. So make sure you start with something simple that makes use of the basic products you have gotten. So that is the shampoo, the protein deep conditioner, the moisturizing deep conditioner, the leave-in conditioner, and the hair oil. Now on your wash days, you are going to make use of your shampoo to clean your scalp and your hair. Then you follow it up with a protein deep conditioner. Then you go in with a moisturizing deep conditioner to moisturize your hair. Now that is already 3 products. So the remaining 2 products, you are going to use them when you come out of the shower. So after coming out of the shower, in the process of drying your hair, you can use the other 2 products, that is your leave-in moisturizer and your hair oil. So that is your 5 products already. Now every other thing you do is just going to be extra. So after moisturizing your hair, another thing I'd recommend is low manipulation, and protective styling is one of the easiest ways to do this. So you can tuck your hair away in protective styles until your next wash day and just rinse and repeat the process. So you wash and clarify your hair, deep condition, moisturize, protective styling, then wash again, deep condition, moisturize, protective styling, and just keep on repeating the process. Like I said, the frequency of each of these is going to depend on you, on your lifestyle, and what you know you can tolerate. Moving on, the next step is to stick with it. You have to stick with a routine long enough to know if it is working or not. You can't just carry out a routine on your hair for 2 weeks or 1 month, and when you don't see results, you give up. It doesn't work like that. You have to stick with your routine for a prolonged period in order to truly tell if that routine is working for your hair or not. One thing about choosing routines or using products is that you may not see immediate results from using them. The results of that product or routine may be visible 6 months down the line, or sometimes even 1 year down the line. So you have to be consistent enough and be patient enough to see the results of your routine. Moving on, the next step is to tweak your routine based on how your hair responds. So this is where you are going to have to become very, very observant. So whenever you use a product on your hair, whenever you shampoo your hair, deep condition, moisturize, oil, or whenever you are installing a protective style, taking down your protective style, like with every single thing you are doing on your hair, you are going to have to be very observant. Take note of what is working, what is not working, how your hair is responding to different products, to different protective styles. Take note of if you are getting more breakage after using a product, or if you are getting less breakage after using a particular product, or after installing a protective style, or when you are taking down a protective style. Sometimes it may even be the frequency of your routines. So also take note of how your hair responds depending on how often you carry out different routines on your hair. For example, how your hair responds if you wash your hair every 2 weeks compared to if you wash your hair once a month, or if you wash your hair once in 2 months. Take note of how your hair responds if you moisturize your hair once a week compared to if you moisturize your hair once a month. Now, when I say take note, I mean observe these things over a prolonged period of time. Like I said, you may not notice the results of some products until months or even years down the line. So you have to be very observant with every product you are using on your hair and with every protective style you are installing over a period of time. So if you use a particular product on your hair today and you notice that your hair responds positively to it, the next time you're going to use that product, also pay attention to if you are going to get those same positive results from using that product. So if the product is consistently giving you a positive result over months, then you know that this product is compatible with your hair and your hair loves this product. But after using a particular product or after installing a particular protective style, you notice that you get negative results from it, and you consistently notice that over months, then you know that this product, your hair doesn't like it, and then you're going to have to tweak your routine and replace that product, or stop installing that protective style, or modify the protective style. So this is what I mean when I say tweak your routine based on how your hair responds. So whenever you introduce something new into your regimen or into your product or to your hair, always try to be observant and then modify the regimen based on how your hair responds to what you are introducing it to. Moving on, another thing I want you to take note of is that you don't have to use that particular working routine forever. Okay, so let's say at this point you have already gotten a routine that is working perfectly for your hair is responding well to all your products. You may notice that it may get to a time your hair may stop responding to that product. So that doesn't mean that the products are now automatically bad. It may just mean that your hair needs have changed. So if a routine is still working for your hair, stick with that. But if it is not, you may have to change it. So it is possible for a routine to work for you and be compatible with your hair when you just start using it, but down the line your hair may stop responding to it. And this is because over years our hair needs change. Sometimes when our hair gets longer, it may require something different compared to when our hair was shorter, because our hair is longer now, meaning the ends of the strands are older and weaker compared to when they were shorter. So these ends may react differently to your current product, or they may not be strong enough to replenish the protein that the current ends of your hair needs. So that is why you have to know that the fact that a routine is working now does not mean that it is going to work forever. So if your routine stops working, there is nothing wrong with that. It just means that your hair needs have changed. So what you have to do is go back to the previous step I mentioned, which is to tweak your regimen based on how your hair responds. So you are not going to have to introduce new products again into your routine. Observe how your hair responds to it and keep tweaking it until you find something compatible and perfect for your hair. Then you stick with that. And by the way guys, if you know that you want a very simple routine that is already done for you, that you can start from, that you can just copy and implement for your hair, like broken down day by day, what you need to do on day 1, on day 2, on day 3, on day 4, just like that up to the 30th day. So that is like a monthly hair growth routine, and you can do this month after month. And this routine is tailored to get your hair longer, healthier and thicker. And it is a very, very simple routine and very stress-free. So even if you have a busy 9 to 5, or you are a busy mom, or you don't have time, there is no way that you can't keep up with this routine, because it is very, very simple and very stress-free. So if you want something like this, then get the Ultimate Hair Growth Guide. With this guide, you get this simple routine. You would also get products for every single category. So shampoos, protein deep conditioners, moisturizing deep conditioners, hair oils, like every single product and tools you need are in there. Also included are solutions to stop your hair from breaking, get your hair softer. It also includes 12 powerful hair growth tips that will help you grow your hair longer and healthier. So these and so much more are what you'll be getting if you get the Ultimate Hair Growth Guide. You can get it now through the link in the description box below. So yeah guys, that is it for how to create a healthy hair growth routine that is going to help you grow your hair longer, to waist length, to hip length, stable length, or even thigh length if that is your goal. Let me know in the comment section down below what your goal length is, so that we can all sort of encourage each other to push through and achieve our hair goals. Also, if you have any questions about creating a hair growth routine, also let me know in the comment section down below and I'll make sure to get back to you. Okay, so yeah guys, that is it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. If you are new here and you aren't subscribed, please consider subscribing to join the family, and don't forget to turn on the post notification bell so that you'll be the first to get notified whenever I upload a new video. Okay, so yeah guys, that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.